Hello everybody, welcome to today's stretch and strength workout. Today's workout will strengthen your body gently. It'll stretch out some tight limbs and it should make your whole body happy. If anything today doesn't make your body feel happy, then don't do it or don't do it so extensively. Pull back a little bit into a motion that feels better for your body. As always, only do this if you are okayed by a doctor. Make sure your health is your priority. Let's get to it. Today we are going to start in a nice crisscross applesauce position. Hands can be resting on the knees, can be up, whatever works for you. Again, nice strong shoulders, not a hunch in the back, just nice up. All right, now we're going to just start by bringing our neck to one side and to the other side. We're going to start with some real slow motions and then we'll quicken the pace as we go. Nothing too crazy. First side. And second side. Perfect. Now let's go forward. So just, you don't want to hunch, but you want to stretch, lengthen the back of your neck so your chin comes towards your chest, but your back is still straight. And now the other way, chin up to the sky. Nice deep breaths. Chin forward. And chin back. As per usual with our stretch and strengths, you don't need anything but your yoga mat and a bottle of water. Perfect. All right, we're going to start with some full circles in the neck here. So just one little saucer things here, nothing too crazy. You can open your eyes or close your eyes. And other way. Perfect. Remember to have a strong back. 3, 2, 1. Great. Back into center. Now we're going to bring our shoulders up, back, down, and forward. All right, nice little shoulder circles. Get all these cricks worked out. And reverse the circles. Perfect. Wonderful. All right, now we're going to take our right hand, put it on our left knee, put our left hand behind us, and just have a nice little twist through the back. You can do this in a pulsing motion, so where you come push into that twist and then relax. Just a few times here. And now we'll do the other side. Again, you want to have a straight back while you're doing this, not hunched over, and a nice open chest as well. Deep breaths. Just do what's feeling good for your body. Don't push anything too hard. Great. And 3, 2, 1. Wonderful. All right, now let's put our arms out to the side and just do some little circles. And backwards little circles. Forwards little circles. And backwards little circles. Now we're going to hold those hands steady for a second and just flip one, flip the other, flip number 1, flip number 2. All right, so just waking up. Oops, that one went a little wonky. Waking up all the portions of our body one at a time. We're just stretching out those limbs, making sure that they know they're there. Awesome. And 3, 2, 1. Great. Now we're going to place our hands behind us, open up our chest towards the sky, okay, and have our knees bent. I'm going to do this from side view here, I think. Okay, so just like this, straight back, and we're going to take one knee, cross it across our, take one ankle, cross it across our other knee. And you just want to push in a little bit. You're just pushing above your ankle into above your knee. And you actually should feel a stretch in the crossed over legs glute here. All right. Kind of in the outer portion of your glute. Should feel good, should not hurt. If you don't feel anything, you can push up with your body out of this position, and it'll just deepen the stretch a little bit. Remember to keep that open chest and alternate. This will create a little bit of friction in between where the above knee meets the above ankle. And it should just feel it right up the side here. Chest towards the sky. Awesome. And untangle. Perfect. We're gonna stretch these legs out for a second. Take one arm over to the toes, the other arm over to the toes. Feel a stretch through your whole back body. Feel it through your calves, your hamstrings, perhaps your lower back. You can sink low into this. Remember those nice deep breaths? All right, now release. We're gonna roll over, come into tabletop position. Okay, here you meet me here. We'll start with a little cat-cow here, so we'll bring our stomachs towards the ground. Hips can arch towards the sky. Your shoulders are pushing away from the mat. Your hands are pushing away from the mat. And now you'll bring your back arched to the sky. You can add a little sway forward and back. You can add a little, say, side to side. Perfect. All right, now again, stomach to ground. Remember to find what feels good. If feeling good means being static for you, holding still, then do that. All right, if all of the movement feels good, then do that. All right, here we go. Now we are going to bring one foot out. All right, choose your foot here, and we are going to bring it up like an extended table. So we've got our extended table here, and now we're going to bring it bent at the knee towards our glute, back out and down. Other side, stretch that baby out. Really feel like you're pulling your heel away from your shoulder. Bend it at the knee towards your glute. Stretch it back out and down. Perfect. Now we're going to just come, well, our toes are pointed towards the end of our mat, so our front of our feet are flat on the mat. We're going to come and sit upright quickly here. This stretches the front of your ankle. Depending on where you're at, this might not feel good, so you might be up here. You might be able to sit fully into your heels. As you all well know, I'm recovering from an ankle injury, foot injury, and those muscles are really tight. So for me, this is a huge stretch. But the physio says I have to do it. So here we are. Just sit here for a few seconds. Nice deep breaths. Perfect. All right, let's come back into tabletop. Today, I don't know if I told you this already, you don't need shoes. If you want to wear shoes, wear shoes. We don't have to wear shoes. Some people have yoga socks. Do you have yoga socks? I don't have yoga socks. We're going to come into down dog. So in down dog, we're going to pedal our feet out. What we're doing here is straightening one leg and trying to push that heel towards the yoga mat, which stretches out all the muscles that are in the back of our leg. Then we bend that knee and go to the other leg and try and stretch that heel towards the mat to stretch out the whole back of that leg. Back and forth, back and forth. Perfect. All right. Now again, let's choose a leg. We're going to stick that leg way up in the air. You again want it as though it's extending from your back. So your goal is to have it straight out. You might have it here, which is also great. You might just have it a little bit up. Good for you. Hang that head just calmly down. Keep that toe up as high as you can. All right, nice straight leg. And release. Pedal a little more here. All right, now leg number 2 up in the air. Remember, wherever it works for you, might be straight out, might be straight up, might be like here or down here, okay? Now hold this for 10 more seconds. And 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Okay, come back into tabletop here. Quick little child's pose. So we're going to put our toes together, knees as wide as the yoga mat, and sink on back. Sink those hips into your heels, your shoulders and forehead into the yoga mat, and stretch your arms forward to the front of the yoga mat. Perfect. All right, let's come out of this back into tabletop position. There we go. Now you're gonna dig those toes underneath your ankles, so you've got your toes, your knees, and your wrists all touching the mat. And now we're gonna come up off of these knees, so it's just your toes and your hands touching. You still want to have a nice strong back. Okay, so this is called a hover table. While you're doing this, if you're finding this too much, you can touch one knee, touch the other knee, or you can just hold this position as long as you can. You're going to feel this through your shoulders and your core and your quads. All right, back down to tabletop. Now we're going to walk up to the front of the mat, stretch one toe out and the other toe out, and come into a plank. I'm going to send those heels as far back as we can. So we're going to have kind of a bit of a swaying plank here. Perfect. And 3, 2, 1. Great. Let's walk back up to tabletop position. Send those hips side to side a little. Okay, we're going to come back into that leg straight out. So remember, it's like an extension of your table. So from your shoulders to your glutes to the back of your heel is all one straight line. And now we're just going to pulse that. So send that heel up. Small motion here coming from the glute, nothing too difficult. We'll do 5 more. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Now we're going to bend the knee, and we're going to do the same thing from here. So pulsing up from here. You want to really control this side-to-side motion here by making sure that your abs are coming towards your spine, and then it's your glute that's doing the work. 3, 2, 1. Great. Back down. Quick little child's pose. All right, other leg. Send her straight out. Okay, ready to pulse? So just send that heel up to the sky. It doesn't have to be a huge movement here. Small movement is great. Five more. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Now we're going to bend the knee and pulse up from that knee. Again, think about bringing your abs towards your spine so you're controlling your side to side motion. And 5 more. And 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Come in. We're going to come back up to downward dog. So onto those toes. Stretch those heels back. Pedal out. Perfect. All right, we're going to walk it back into plank here. So come back into a nice plank. We're going to take one arm and stretch it out into a side plank. When we're in side plank, you really want to try and think about having a straight body. All right, and your arm's probably shaking and so is mine. You can come down onto your knee if you need to. Okay, so you can be in this position or in this, oh, that little foot. This position. And 3, 2, 1. We'll come to the other side. Get into plank. Now put your toes on each other and get the body up. There we go. Once you're in there, you can get over to your straight line. Again, remember you can be down on your knees. You just want to be thinking about a straight line. And 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Okay, now we're going to come down onto our elbow. We're going to come just like this, bent knees. You think about an open chest. Think like you're, hanging out at the beach with your ladies. I'm talking like to your lady who's looking at you just this exact same way. And you're all like, oh yeah, my kid's in the ocean. Oh yeah, my kid's in the ocean. Da, 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 da. Anyways, that's not the point. The point is we're going to send our hip up so that now we're hovering. We're balancing on our elbow and our knee. We're going to just send our other leg up and down, up and down. All right, nice controlled motion up and down. Breathe out while that leg is going up and in while it's coming down. If you're gassing out, let your hip touch the ground and continue on from there. We've got 5 more. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. All right, let's swap to side 2. Or this would, I guess, be original side 1. Ladies on a beach, here we are. Send that hip up. Hover that leg. Make sure your chest is nice and open. And up and down. Five more. 3, whoops, 2, and 1. Perfect. Now let's roll back over into tabletop. Oh yeah. Okay, we're going to stretch our left arm forward. While you're here, you can be doing this without 2 thoughts, or you can really be thinking about lengthening through your shoulder, through your side body, and pushing that arm as forward as you can. Nice deep breaths. Then bring it down, other arm up. And while we're here, you also really want to think about putting equal strength or equal weight into each of the 3 limbs that's touching the ground. So your knees and your hands should be getting equal weight. 3, 2, 1. Great. Side 1, we're going to lift that arm up. So we're just opening up that chest, opening up the side body. Again, everything today should feel good. If it doesn't feel good, make the motion smaller or just wait it out. Go into a quick child's pose while we're doing it. And down, other side. Reach for the sky. Think about stretching through your chest, stretching through your side body, and down. Perfect. Yet another child's pose. I'm really feeling them today. Toes together, knees as wide as the yoga mat. Send those hips back. All right, back into tabletop. Now let's get into a quick down dog here. So up, now we're gonna take our left leg and come into pigeon. If you don't know what pigeon is, you're gonna grab your left leg, bend that knee, pull it forward, and then sit on your hip bones type thing, and just come up into a nice upright position. You can, if you're not feeling a stretch through your glute here, you can move your front foot a little forward, and that should deepen your stretch. And you can also, possibly, depending on your body, come on down to your elbows. Really sink low into this, what would you call this? Setting? Position, perhaps. All right, really try and stretch through those glutes. Okay, now let's come back into down dog. So we'll get back up on our hands, bring that foot back, hips up and back. And then we'll bring our other foot through, up, onto the ground, and sit up and back. Again, if you're into it, you can absolutely come down onto your elbows. You can stack your hands and set your forehead on them. Nice deep breaths. This is the time that you have carved out for yourself. This is an amazing time. Might as well enjoy it with some deep breaths. Perfect. All right, let's untangle from here. We're going to just send that second foot back and come into an upward dog. So you can either have your thighs just off the ground while you're on your tiptoes and your hands, or you can sink into the ground, send those toes back, and really feel the stretch through the front of your body. Wonderful. All right, let's get on to those toes again. Back into downward dog. Now you're going to want to spread your feet a little further apart, just like this, and walk them back until you're into a wide-legged forward fold. When we're in this position, you really want to be feeling a stretch through your calves, especially through the side of your calves. You might not have your hands on the ground. Your hands might be on your thighs or your shins. Whatever works for your body is wonderful. You can sway a little forward and back. All right, now let's walk our hands over to one foot. When you get to this foot, you're going to feel a deeper stretch on that side. And that's cool. That's good. Unless it hurts. Then maybe you're in too deep. You've got too wide-legged stance going on. All right, let's walk it to the other side. And back to the center. Perfect. All right, in a second, we're going to come up from this wide-legged pose. When you do this, try to not roll from your back. Try to hinge at your hips. So you really want to think about your hips providing the motion to pull you up. All right, and here we come up. Perfect. Let's ankle, toe, heel, toe, back to the center. Awesome. There we go. We are now standing. Fancy that. All right. We're going to come right into a half fold. So you're going to hinge at those hips again to come forward. Send your arms down. You can be zipped up tight from your legs. You can have a little space in there. You can be, say, hip width apart with your feet if that's what works for you. Just want to sink nice and low. Stretch through those shoulders. One shoulder and the other. Perfect. Great. Feels so good. All right, now let's rise back up again. Here we go. Awesome. Let's make a goal post position. So we're in cactus arms perhaps. All right, now you can have your feet nice and close together or hip width apart again. We're going to twist to one side. While we're doing this, you want to think about like braced glutes, not super tight, but if you just even have them a little bit braced, then you're going to end up twisting through your side rather than through your hips. All right, and now back to the center and to the other side. And to the center, first side. To the center and second side. Now we're going to do this motion just a little bit quicker, so it's going to be harder to hold your glutes tight, but you just want to swing through and loosen up the whole body. Nice deep breaths. Remember, do what feels good for your body. And 3, 2, 1. Great. Okay, we're going to stretch out these quads a little bit here. So we're going to grab one ankle, bring it close to our glute. Now from the front, you really want to think about bringing your knee in to a straight line with your body. So you don't want your knee out like here. If possible, you want to bring your knee in nice and tight here. Use something for balance. Touch a table, touch the wall. You can do those tricks that we all know about where you put your tongue to the roof of your mouth or you touch your belly button. All right, now once you're good and balanced here, think about pushing your hip forward, not your stomach, but your hip. Okay, when you push your hip forward, you're going to feel that stretch deepen in your quad. One of my braids is winging out hard. Not that you need to know that. And release. Wonderful. All right, let's grab the other side. Again, think about bringing your knee in nice and tight into your body, into a straight line. And once you're good and balanced, push that hip forward. and release. Perfect. Okay, we're gonna come back into that wide stance here. Not super, super wide, just like a little bit wider than your yoga mat. We're gonna take our right hand to our left foot. So think about crossing over, not hunching in the back, but a nice crossover, and then send that opposite arm up to the sky. All right, and walk across. Now your left hand will touch your right foot, and your right hand will stretch way up to the sky. You want to have a strong back here, not a hunched over back, a nice strong back. And down, back to the center, and hinge up. Awesome, great. Okay, now we're gonna walk those feet back together. We're gonna take one foot, the sole of one foot, and you might come here. If you can balance yourself, I encourage you to take your toe off the ground and just rest it on your calf. If you're super yogi or super stretchy, flexible, there we go, you can bring your foot above your knee. I cannot right now, and you can balance it into a tree position. All right, this should open up your hip. I have no balance right now. That's okay. Just think about sending your knee straight out from your body, not pointing forward. You want it sending straight out, and your core is tight. Soft bend in the knee, that's holding your weight. And release. Other side. Think about having a straight line from your ankle through your knee, through your hip, and through your upper body. As always, you can touch the wall for balance, or your belly button, or the tongue to your roof of your mouth. And release. Awesome. We're going to take our hands, intertwine our fingers behind our back, open up our chest towards the sky. You're going to look a little up and away, as though you're looking at those faraway clouds, trying to decide whether they're going to bring us hail. I never know. My husband always knows. Let's bring those arms to the left. You really want to feel your chest opening while we do this. Bring your arms to the right. Perfect. Release. We're going to send our hands down to our toes and make a huge circle up, out, and down again. So you're hinging at the hips, making huge circles with your arms. Stretching those shoulders out, soft bend in the knee the whole time. 3 more. Two more. And 1 more. Awesome. Okay, now we're going to put 1 foot forward. I'm going to show you this from the side. 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Keep the back leg fairly straight. Bend the front foot. Make sure both feet are pointed forward. And just put both hands just on top of that knee there, just on your quad. And you should feel a stretch in your back calf and possibly in your front calf as well. You want to try and really dig your back heel into the ground here. That's where your stretch will come from. And now we're going to sink our weight onto our back leg, bend our back knee, and point our front toe towards the ground. So we're in the same, the feet are in the same spots as they were, but yeah, we're just in a bit of a different position. Now we're going to twist on these feet. Now the other foot's in front. Imagine that, pointed the other way. Okay, so we're going to keep our back leg straight and bend the front knee, making sure that both feet are pointed forward. All right, sink into that stretch. Think about sending your heel into the ground. If you've got tight shins, this is a tough one. If you've got tight calves, this is a tough one. I'm all about that right now. Awesome. Now let's sink back, bend the back knee, send the front toes towards the sky. Sink into that calf, sink into that back foot. And feel this also up in your quad. So many places, really. Why not, right? And 3, 2, 1. Perfect. All right, we're going to come into a seated position. Just a couple more little ditties here. We're going to bring one foot close into our body, stretch one foot out, and just grab maybe our thigh, maybe our shin, maybe our toes, maybe around the side of our foot. You can grab it with both feet, with both hands. Sit back up. The foot that's nice and tight in, we're just going to cross that foot over and hug the knee close to our body. All right, and we're going to look the other way. So we're going to look over our, well, I suppose it depends which foot you've got crossed over. If you have your right leg crossed over your left leg, you'll look over your right shoulder. What you want to feel is another stretch through your glute. And release. We'll straighten out that leg, bring our other leg nice and close to our body, and grab our thigh or our shin or our toes with one hand or with two hands. You can sink your head nice and low in there. You can keep it up. You want to still think about a strong core while you're doing this. Perfect. Sit up. Bring your leg over and either hug it close. Well, definitely hug it close. And then you can look over your shoulder if you so desire. And release. Perfect. Wonderful job today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. And I hope to see you again soon. Have a great day.